We'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Has everybody had a chance to look over the minutes from the February 10th meeting?
Did you have anything?
The update's already up there. Move to approve?
Move.
Yep. Moved by Bud, second by Justin. All in favor? Okay.
Can we make a note that, why the February meeting?
Oh, yes, and we did not have quorum on February 24th, so there's no minutes to approve from that meeting. Consent agenda, we need permission for clerk to pay insurance at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utilities at time of billing, permission for clerk to pay utility incentives before the 25th of the month, permission for clerk to pay theater bills when due, permission for clerk to pay payment service network bills when due, permission for clerk to pay city attorney bills when due.
So moved.
Moved by Larry.
Second.
Second by Justin. All in favor? All right. Cody, I called him this evening and told him not to bother driving over from Burt since we had a small group, so he'll be here at the next meeting. New business trash waiver applications, 100 East Washington, 709 South of Denison, 320 West Royce Peter Road.
They're all renewals, aren't they?
Correct.
I move to approve.
Moved by Larry, second by Justin. All in favor? All right, Reach Solutions, Sonic Wall subscription, and wireless network quote.
So the Sonic Wall subscription, that's our annual. It is the first part of that quote. The second part for the protection, I think that he just keeps it on there. We have never had the Sonic Wall Network Security Manager before. I do not believe that this is in the vouchers for tonight's bills, as he gave us one invoice, and we reached out to him to find out if we actually need this protector or what all it entails to give you guys more information. I did not get an email back from him as of today. Well, the last time I looked anyways, today. So I was giving it to you guys so that I was hoping to have the backup for the other part.
We'll just check and see.
Yeah. And then the second part is a quote for a network wireless system. From what Matt told me was that a couple of years ago, due to the Wi-Fi back here for the laptops, he had given this quote. You guys, the council at the time, did not approve it, but this is so that it would expand or basically make our system better. So, and it goes with our Sonic Wall, so it doesn't interfere in any way for the laptops to actually, or supposed to actually get the Wi-Fi signal as they're supposed to. So that is for you guys just to review.
Isn't Dara the only one that's had any problems?
I have on occasion logged into my email, but I haven't lately.
Okay.
I mean, that's a lot to. I wonder if it's just her Chromebook as opposed to.
Right, and we left Justin's over there, and I don't. Did you take it home? Then I don't know. Oh, it's over there. It's behind you now. She never took it to try using a different or a newer Chromebook. So I don't know.
Okay. I say let's hold off.
I
on
see.
that. Okay. Theater board. Robert.
All right. Okay, I thought I'd have more to talk to you about tonight, but I really don't have much. Leanne told me that you guys are considering, one of the things that we need to do is replace the sound system, and she said you're considering doing it as a maintenance item as opposed to part of the renovation, and you wanted the board's input on that. We talked about it at the last meeting, and we think that'd be great if the city wants to do this sound system replacement, which I think is like $9,850 or something like that, as a maintenance item. That would be wonderful, because we could get it done, you know, and we wouldn't have to bundle it into what we're working on as far as renovation. So I think that was the question. Is that right, Leanne? Is that what they wanted to know? I mean, fundamentally, yes on maintenance.
Yes. Well, for you to explain to them what all is happening with the sound system as well.
Okay, so, yes. So, if we do this, if we replace the sound system, which I really think we need to do, we will essentially have the same sound that we have now, which isn't that great. But that is not because of the sound system, that is because of the acoustics of the building. Part of the renovation is to put acoustic tile on the walls, which we think will make the building, I mean, it'll sound a lot better, but the reason that we're worried about the sound system right now is it's, depending on which portion of it you look at, it's 30 years old, and some of it's not that old, some of it's only 15 years old, but it's electronics, it's old, and it's starting to act wonky. It's starting to do weird things, drop channels, do stuff like that. So we're worried that if we don't do this, we'll have a movie going on Friday night, the sound system will fail, and then we'll be closed for that weekend because there's no way we can get a repairman in, most likely until the next week. So replacing the sound system right now is essentially a reliability issue, but it'll well sound better if we can get acoustic panels on the wall, but that's nothing actually to do with the sound system. It has to do with the auditorium itself. I mean, the space is not very designed for good acoustics, which, was built 76 years ago, so I'm not faulting anybody, but that's the sound will be better, but not because of the sound system. It's just reliability.
Thoughts on that?
Where would we pull it from if we were going to do it?
We do have funds available in the equipment reserve that could be utilized for it. I also sent over the link for CCKCF for their universal grant. Robert was looking into filling that out.
I have started on it, but I haven't finished.
To see if we could possibly get partial grant monies to go towards it as well.
Thoughts on that?
Did they recommend replacing it?
Yes.
Yeah, the maintenance guy says, look, it's old, it needs, his attitude is, I can probably keep patching it together for a little longer, but he says, look, it's not going to sound better because the building doesn't have acoustics. He's cautioning us on that, but we understand that. The reliability, the problem with him patching it together when it fails is, he drives in 3 days later. You close the theater for that weekend, you give everybody's money back, you disappoint the crowd that you gathered, and then you fix it next week, for it to fail again. I mean, it's old. Mm-hmm. But, he's sort of like, he deals with a lot of small town theaters that don't have much money, and he's like, I'll keep fixing it as long as I can. But, he also noted that it was 30 years old.
We're lucky we haven't had issues before now.
Actually, I agree. It's been a good one. It hasn't
Yeah.
given us much trouble at all. It's been pretty bulletproof. And this is, remember, this is theater equipment, quote unquote. So you could probably buy the same thing for your house for $2,000, but that isn't how it works here.
Mm-hmm.
Move we pay $10,000.
What's that?
Move we pay out of equipment reserve too.
Okay, moved by Justin,
Second.
second by Larry. All in favor? All right.
Okay, I have one more question for you guys.
Are you still gonna pursue the grant?
Yeah, well, yes, for sure. I just haven't gotten to it. It's got a lot of questions, and it's
Yeah.
going to take some time. But it's on my to-do list, and hopefully this week I'll start filling
Because you
in
want to
some
get
of
that done before the end of the month, correct? They look at those monthly,
No,
so.
I'm hoping tomorrow,
Yeah.
honestly. Leanne sent it to me last week, and I've been out of town, and it's tedious. There's a lot of stuff, but I'll fill in the blanks on mine, and then we're going to need some letters of recommendation from somebody. This is like any grant. There's a lot of questions that you have to answer to get, jump through the hoops. But yes, I absolutely, we might as well apply for the grant.
Yeah.
There's no downside.
Yeah.
The worst they can do is say no. Okay, I do have one other question that it's been going on this whole renovation project, which, started in 2019, so it's 5 years old. But when you do a project of this size, one of the things that we really want is not to have the theater closed for a long period of time, because that's bad for the employees. They don't get any wages. It's bad for the theater because people get out of the habit of going to the movie. We really want contractors to come in all at the same time, do the wiring, the electrical, the plumbing, the ceiling, the floors, like boom, 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 while you've got the seats out to reach the ceiling, then you can refinish the floors. It just makes sense. It's faster and better to keep it moving. But when you're asking for estimates as opposed to bids, the contractors are saying, I can tell you what I think it's going to cost, but this is a really old building. It's 76 years old. We might open it up and find something that we didn't expect to find, and then that's going to cost more money. Or I have to put in contingency on my bid. I have to essentially pad the bid bigger if you really want a bid as opposed to an estimate. And I think that's completely fair of them to say that. The problem with the estimate, of course, is that if we use the money that the theater has raised by working at the thrift store, and if the city puts up money, and if we get a grant from Dane Hanson and I don't know what, and we've got kind of the money that we need to do the project based on the estimate, because that will be a lot smaller number than a bid, right? And then they do find something, then we've got the theater torn up, all the contractors are sitting in there, and they're going to be saying, what do you want to do? And we won't have time, to get another grant, probably even to wait for the city council to have another meeting. If we're going to do it with an estimate, not a bid, we almost need like a straw boss, somebody that has the authority to say, maybe this guy, to say yes or no, let's keep going. But I need to know that, and I also need to know how you guys feel about this. Would you rather have it be a bid that's completely locked in, knowing that the contractors are, the only way they can do that to protect themselves is to inflate the figures, or do you want to go with an estimate and just understand that, there might be, in the middle of it, something might pop up, probably won't, but might, that's going to add money, and it's going to require an answer fairly quickly because we're going to have contractors in there with the place torn up and the doors shut. So that's the question. Do you want to do this as an estimate or a bid? I don't need an answer tonight, but I need to know because I keep getting I get pushback from the contractors when I tell them we need a bid because that would be ideal, and they say, yeah, but, and I agree with them. It is an old building. It's not like new construction where we could say, give us a bid. It's a renovation.
You guys still contact Dan whenever there's issues down there with the building or
Yes.
certain stuff?
And
that would be the go-to as far as the
but if we
chain
did
of-
it with an estimate, would he have the authority to add $20,000 in the middle of the afternoon to this? Is the question.
I think
I'll probably talk to you and then we can
Yeah,
get a phone call.
but that would be that's the chain of command anyways, is you guys go to him when
Absolutely,
there's any
yeah. He's our
issues,
first
and then
one.
he comes to myself or the council, if it can wait till a council meeting. I would think that would be just a matter of if we were comfortable with.
But would
I
we,
mean-
would we have to wait 2 weeks for a council meeting, or would it be like the next day? That's my question.
Yeah, I don't think so. Depending on, I guess, the extent of the project and if we get grant funding and, if it's a,
Well, I'm assuming that we're going to get grant funding, but I'm assuming also that the grant funding is going to be X number of dollars, and then the balance is going to be paid by the community in some way or the other. But if there, and remember, this probably won't happen, or if it does happen, it'll probably be a small amount of money. Most likely, I can't see anything, you know, I don't think there's any termite damage in a block building, you know, I don't know what it's gonna be, but you never know what it's gonna be, that's why, I mean, that's the thing, if you knew, then you wouldn't be talking about it. So it's just like a fundamental, when they do airport projects, I've been involved with those, they get bids from the contractors. Even then, the contractors will say if they find a whole bunch of big rocks in the dirt work that they didn't expect, which actually happened once, they'll say, whoa, we didn't expect this, you didn't tell us those rocks, like we didn't know. But we have an engineer hired. You know, there's an engineering firm that's between the contractors and the airport commission who's getting a percentage of the take to answer those questions and to say, look, here's what we want to do. In this case, we don't have that engineering firm. So it's just harder to know, you know. My bias here is to try to get to get a lower estimate, because then when we go after grants, it's a smaller number, you know, but there needs to be, I just need to know if I'm going to say that to these contractors, just give me your best, lowest estimate, and if something comes up, you know, we'll deal with you fairly. But I need to know that the city council's behind that and that there'll be a mechanism to do that. You know, that's the question.
I guess my concern is you're trying to get the lowest estimate, but knowing that there could be something else, and so you're getting grant funding for this amount, knowing that there could be this, where's that extra money coming from?
That's
There's
exactly
got to have
what it
those
is.
funds in place somehow.
With the grant, we're going to try to do a 10% overage, which will hopefully cover any unknowns, but
Oh, that can be in the grant?
yeah, we can do 10%, but we can't.
Okay, that would
control
help.
that, so.
If we can do that, that would help a lot, because it's hard to imagine, you know, we got like 4 or 5 different contractors. It's hard to imagine that 10% of the entire amount, that any one of them would need that much money. So if that's the case, maybe that solves it, that we can just tell them, look, give us your best number, and if something comes up, we'll have a means to deal with it.
Again, I don't know how to respond to that, because I mean, without some hard figures, I mean, how do you know? If it's $5,000-$10,000, yeah, I can understand it. But if it turns into $20,000 to $50,000, then what?
Yeah.
I mean, it's something that not necessarily would have to be budgeted for, but it definitely have to be accounted for somewhere.
Well, I think you'd have to have it budgeted you know, where it's going to get paid, whether the city's paying it or you have other funds raised from community events, or, you know.
Yeah, I don't know, you know, as I understand the grant process, and Chris is going to tell you more, I think, but there's going to be we're not going to get a grant for 100% of this project. I don't think.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Well, I guess that's where, you know, where's the rest of the money coming from?
right now the employees of the theater, and this is, you guys don't know this, it's amazing, on their Saturday mornings, completely unpaid, they go down to the thrift store and volunteer and work. And they've been doing this for a long period of time. And we have something like $14,500 from those efforts. So that's how much money the theater has from volunteer work. And, you know, it's like these guys are amazing because they don't have to do this on Saturday morning, you know.
Yeah.
But
When I get into figures,
well, you know, it's going to be in the range of 220 to 270. That's where it's going to come in. I mean, I've got rough enough numbers, but 220 is better than 270, and the difference is bid versus estimate.
You're talking total package.
Yeah, that would be the marquee on the front and the entire renovation. I mean, I don't have solid numbers yet because we have to answer this question, do you want a bid or do you want an estimate, before I can get solid numbers. The numbers are bigger if it's a bid.
Do you have enough interest in a bid?
We have a local contractor that is wanting to do it, but I think he would prefer to have an estimate. I don't blame him.
No.
I'd be the same way. You know, what I tell him is, if it was him and me, I'd take the estimate, and if something happened in the middle of it, he could talk to me, I could make the decision, we'd go on the next day. but it's not. It's him and the city and the grant process. It's just, fundamentally a clumsier process. I mean, that's what worries me.
I don't know why Dan couldn't handle the issue and then talk to you or me or somebody.
Yeah. I mean, that's the way it's supposed to be. Anything that goes on down there goes first to him and then to the council. And if it's a need to be decided that day, he could come to me and.
And it could be overnight, but we can't wait 2 weeks
Yeah.
because all the
Yeah.
contractors are going to pick up their stuff and go home. And then it might be another 2 weeks before we get them back off the job that they went to after they went home. We'll lose momentum.
Yeah.
And no, we're perfectly happy with having Dan do it. But I just needed to know that that's how this is going to work.
We could do a special meeting
That's
too if
what-
we had
okay.
to.
That's
Yeah.
what it's going
I think that, is everybody good
If
with
we had to.
estimates?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think an estimate. You got somebody in mind. I think that'd be good.
All right, so I'm going to tell them we need bid it the way as an estimate, the way you think it's going to go, and if something goes awry, then we'll make it happen. Okay, thank you. That's what I needed to know.
Yep.
Thanks, Robert.
Yep. Thank you, Robert.
And then, so we are going to be applying for multiple grants. I will need a letter giving approval since it is owned by the city for me to apply for the grants on the city's behalf. So, or we can also have it voted and have it in the minutes, whichever works better for you guys. But just need something. So
Moved by Justin,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor. Alrighty, you got your permission to go after grants on behalf of the city.
Okay, perfect.
Alrighty, thanks, Chris.
Thanks.
Yes. Concrete permits,
You
322
were
South
faster
Benton.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, thank you. 210 West First, 503 South Stock, 511 East Spencer, 105 South River, and 412 West Spencer, 520 East Third.
Now,
That's concrete.
Any problems?
No, not really.
I move.
Moved by Justin. Second by Bud, all in favor? Okay. Building permits, 306 West Washington and 112/120 West First Street.
Any issues, Dan?
This is the one for West First Street. What was the other one?
306 West Washington.
What you do? That'd be Heartland, right?
Yeah, it sounds right.
306, yeah.
Heartland.
I haven't seen any problem with that. They're just building the building back out to the alley, just like the rest of them. Line them down the alley.
Okay.
I talked to Greg today, and anything he needs to move, he will, if it's coming out too close to the property. So everything will be at least 3 foot off the side property lines. Except right there where it goes to his house, he might come in closer to that. With this little porch thing.
Okay.
And it's not gonna be yellow. That's just fine.
I move.
Moved by Justin,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor? Alright. Alumni special event and ban shell rental application. Or-
June 21st, they're wanting to have a band in the park and just close off the 2 streets.
For alumni,
Yeah, for alumni.
yeah. Anybody have any issues with that?
No.
Is there a motion to approve? Oh, hang on.
They're asking for the deposit and the rental fee to be waived, if possible.
Moved by Justin
We usually
to,
do that, don't we?
yeah,
Yep.
Yep.
moved by Justin. Second by Bud, all in favor?
And that was for both.
Yes, for both, and to waive the fee and deposit. Zona, you're up.
Yay. I do apologize, it's not on the agenda. I don't know why not, but there is a renewal for a chicken permit. It was the first one.
Is that Aaron?
Yes.
I'll move to approve.
Moved by. Second. All right, second by Justin, all in favor? Okay. All right, Zona, now you're up.
Okay, well, I'm here on your guys' request. You guys had more questions regarding paperwork that I had turned in for the donation?
Copies in there.
Yeah, oh, in here, I got. What I got here. And then we're going to- So you ended up getting the fridge?
We were gifted a new fridge. I just had to purchase it and they reimbursed us. And then we purchased a used one for $500. I just have to replace the glass on the front door. So we're good as far as the fridges go, because the other one I still have not been able to get Jared out there. He's not returning my phone calls. I don't understand his issue. I don't know. So we went a different routes. First Christian Church heard that our fridge went down and they were willing to help us. So they said, buy the fridge, we'll reimburse you. And that's what we did.
And as far as the expenses on the building, like the property taxes and utilities, is that the whole building or is that the food pantry?
Just the food pantry portion.
We have a question about the
I don't,
utilities.
I don't remember.
Bottom line, wasn't this about the $1,000 that we talked about?
No, this was for the new donation as of January. Because when I came in December, y'all said it was too late to do the $1,000 donation because the books had already been closed.
Right.
And moving forward, you guys were going to give us whatever, $2,500, I guess it was. And you wanted information, so I've supplied all that information, and then it came back that the check was ready, but you needed more information. You wanted me to come in and explain things. So here I am.
So from the meeting,
Thank you.
the utilities were questioned, but the only part of the building that has utilities is the food pantry.
Is the food pantry.
Other part of the building is non-electrical at all.
Correct.
And then there was a question in regards to the property tax of $1,000 that was on her profit loss statement that I did not have an answer to. She later informed me that she had taken it to the board at one of their last meetings and that they had approved moving forward to put $1,000 towards the property taxes because they utilize it free of rent. She has a lease.
So it was either rent or property tax, and they said, well, it makes it easier just to cut the one check to help with the property tax, which is their portion for that lot, and then they don't have to pay rent.
Thank you. You're welcome. I can remember if we had any other questions or not. Yes, does anybody have any
The other
questions?
question was receiving funds from the county. I did not have an amount of what they were receiving.
Because you got funds from the county.
County commissioners, yes.
And that's not on here, or is that
Is
donations?
that the 3,800?
Yes, that's the 3,800.
That's grants.
It was easier for me, I just wrote it as grant, I'm sorry.
Grants, I'm pretty
Okay.
sure that's it.
But it's from the commissioners.
Okay. I think that was it, yeah. Any other questions?
I don't right off.
Alrighty, thank you, Zona.
And
Sorry.
I did not hear back about the trash waiver. I turned in the paper. I don't know if it was approved.
Yes.
Okay. Because I'd never heard back, so. Okay. Good.
Good, thank you.
All right, thanks. Any other questions?
I don't think so.
I don't.
Thank you for all you do.
Yes, you're welcome. Thank you.
Yes,
Y'all have a good evening.
you too. Shipping containers. So I've been approached again, somebody wanting to put up a shipping container. And per our ordinance, we do not allow them, and we've discussed it, and I think we need to come to a decision on whether or not we're going to amend the ordinance and allow them, or if we're gonna enforce the ordinance and not allow them, and so. And I don't remember what responses there wasn't.
So we got 3 responses, and one of them is from Bird City, from Shantae over there. She provided their storage container application and placement agreement. It breaks it down to what they require basically, but they do not have a set ordinance. She was going to bring it up at their next council meeting, getting an ordinance locked in on it. Heads up. But she provided the application to give us some kind of, outline for what they do. It's every 2 years that they have to reapply for the.
And they have to be
Permit.
painted all one color and.
They have to have no visible holes, rust, or damage. Yes, they have to be painted all one color. Trying to remember where that was.
I just think you're opening up a can of worms.
Yeah.
But I think none of them allow them in the residential areas.
Correct.
Bird
It's
City does.
strictly in a commercial area.
Which one?
Yeah,
Bird City does. They just have to get, again, like, kind of like our building permit, get it signed off of where they're placing it. Wanda over at Nest City says that they don't allow them in any residential, and that they stopped allowing them due to the fact that they would come in as a temporary purpose and never taken away.
And that's what ours are.
Yeah, that's what we've got
We've
too.
already got
I would,
those.
if you're gonna do it, I could see putting on a foundation, making like that one guy who wanted to make an apartment out of one. It's on a foundation, he put up this, and we're doing it. I could see doing that and using that as a frame. I don't see just having one
For storage.
for storage and you don't know what's gonna go on along with it.
Thoughts?
The last one that's out there is from the city of Oxford. They do a $50 fee. If they do want one, they basically make them put in a planning and zoning variance to the city to even get considered. Their forms were out there as well. Also in your packets.
I don't like the idea of residential, and I don't like the idea of like on Main Street or something, because I've seen what's happened in a couple other towns, and you drive down, everything looks really nice, then all of a sudden you got storage units.
And then
I
you get
just-
one, and then you
Yeah.
have 12.
Again, this is in our, well, that would be a commercial district, but I mean, I don't know.
And our ordinance states not at all, correct?
I think it says not at all, I have to pull it up.
So our ordinance states not at all.
I think that if it's enacted, you're going to have to stress to the sheriff's department how important it is that violations are prosecuted, that they write tickets. If they're,
Would that be a ticket, or would that be a letter through City Hall?
I mean, I think it depends on how you would word the ordinance. We don't have an allowance now. If it has, I mean, if it has a hole in it, and it's against the ordinance to have a hole in it, and they sign an application that says it won't have a hole in it, then I don't know if you want to give them time to fix that, or if that just needs to be a regular repair. I mean, that would depend on whether or not you're
Sounds like
allowing
you guys
them.
are leaning more towards not allowing them at all, so.
And, I mean, we can get the rest of the council on and see what they say at the next meeting or something. I don't think it's a good idea at all.
And I don't disagree with that, which is what I'm saying is that, you know, like you said, if we have one, we're gonna have 12. And so I would just, in the event the council elects to change the ordinance, we need to make it very clear what the requirements are, very clear what the fines are, and make sure that people are on top of it, because it can get really bad really fast.
Yeah.
Whatever we do, we're gonna have to work on the ones that are already in town under violation.
Mm-hmm.
That was temporary. We need
Temporary.
that.
Yeah.
What's temporary?
Move in for construction and
Mm-hmm.
for storage for construction site, and then
How
they
long
never
does
moved
the
out.
construction site last?
What's that?
How long will it last? I mean,
Well, one of them that I know
be
that,
at a construction site for a long, long time.
yes, I know one of them that is in town. The construction is long
Mhm.
done, and it's still there, so. I guess that's,
Send them a letter,
yeah.
tell they're in
I guess
violation.
we'll, is that everybody's thoughts to just leave the ordinance as is, and we can wait till next council meeting, and
That's where I'm at.
Justin, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with not having them, but I guess at the same time, if you build something and you're using it.
And I think that would be a different
Yeah.
circumstance, because you're putting it on a foundation and you're converting it into
Right.
something else. You're just using the,
That would be a zoning ordinance diversion, or what do you?
well, that would be a building permit that I'm gonna use this
Yeah.
material and turn it into this and have, you know, we've had people come in with plans and they bring us, you know, this is what it's gonna look like, this is what I'm thinking.
Then I have no problem with that, but if
Okay.
you're just gonna put them out there, then, yeah.
Just for,
Yeah.
for storage containers, yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Alrighty. Property cleanup.
There's some out there, but I haven't had time to get pictures.
Did that tiny home get moved into town, or,
It got backed into that driveway.
okay. That one, I think there's,
But I don't know what we do about it, because basically they turned it into a trailer, so.
Where's this at?
616 South Denison is getting to be a nuisance again. I mean, but they had a little tiny,
They built like a tiny home on a trailer to go camping with and stuff, and they just backed it in the driveway.
but you might take a look, because it's driveway's full of stuff, and
And that's one I'm gonna need to get pictures of.
Over here?
Scott's neighbor
Yeah.
across the, yeah.
There's a couple other places I
Yeah.
can think of, but I just haven't got there to get pictures.
Okay, yep, that's getting about that time to
Yep.
get on it. Projects pending, anything?
Do you know if they were gonna come and crack seals sometime?
I have not know anything yet. I guess that's something we need to decide how much we wanna spend on it, and just tell them that's what we got, and let them go to work, I guess, if that's what we wanna do.
Will they come in just to do the crack sealing?
But they won't do it for like just a pallet, so
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna take maybe, you know, with, I think a pallet's what, 5,000, last time I checked, so.
And do we have that much that needs done?
There's some that needs done if we're gonna do some crack for some chip sealing, yeah.
Or some needs done on our chip seal, we did. But
I like college
stuff.
yeah. Some of that needs crack seals again.
Hmm.
Have we gotten money as how much rock's gonna cost and stuff like that?
I I don't.
patch and all that stuff.
I'd say we need crack sealing and get it done.
Yeah,
Are we gonna go with the streets we talked about
I
for the
think so.
project?
That's what
Well-
we're pushing towards. We're just waiting on an answer, or waiting on Miller Associates to get in here.
And I think the
And I'll
crack
call him
sealing,
tomorrow, I was gonna do it today, and I didn't get it done.
but the crack sealing we could do,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah,
And partly the patching too on those, pushing those streets we're doing too.
yeah.
Work on that when you have time.
Have we had the opportunity to get the street sweeper out?
I have not.
What, on the, what's the, Scott Street, what was the determination on that? On the chip seal that didn't stick?
He's gonna fix it.
Okay,
That's what he said.
Good.
couldn't remember, okay. Anything else, street projects, and that's kind of where we're at?
Oh, I saw some things on Facebook about alleys maybe getting done. I don't know if we saw the same thing.
Yeah, well, I mean, we have the intersection repairs spring 2025 follow-up, I suppose. We need to pinpoint what concrete work. Get Brock lined up to,
Maybe I'm wrong, but I think we've got to get a feel on where we're going to be at from the street budget. What that's going to cost before we can dive into some of that other stuff.
but I
Even if
mean,
we
we're
get,
looking,
I think even if we get what Miller's wants to do, I think we still need to go ahead with our chip sealing.
yeah.
Oh,
Chip
yeah.
Figure
seal
out what we need to
facility.
do, you know.
But you know, we were doing so much a
Yeah.
year on
Yeah.
the intersections,
Right.
the concrete stuff, that I think we need to keep
I think we need
on
to,
top of that, just do
I think
2 or
probably-
3 or 4, whatever it was. I don't remember price-wise what we were kind of,
Mhm.
You talking the intersections or?
well, we've done intersections, we've done alley approaches, you know, we've
Right.
done so much a year on that kind of stuff, and I think we need to,
Well, that's one of the things Brock was talking about, where if he's going to be involved with it, he'd like to have something ongoing, not just one little project here. And,
Right.
I mean, actually have something that he can
yeah.
book in for. Yeah, I agree with that too. It's just
I
we
mean,
got to
if
make sure we
we,
got
so much a
funds.
year, and, you know, kind of like the electoral, we're just doing, chunking it off and getting so much. Like we had started, it's been a few years since. I guess, Dan, you can,
So the last quote I had was that Spencer and Benton was gonna be 44,400. First and Francis would be 6,240. This is for curb and sidewalk at the corner of North Denison and East Jackson. Oh, it's done, isn't it?
I don't think so. I'll look.
I think it's done. The only one we got down right now is Washington and Angle Road for 10,080. That was the last estimates we got from you. I thought I'd talk to him about the one up here, but I'll get hold of him again and see.
okay,
Which one?
Well, the one on right there by that Ford place. It's
Oh, Francis and
first.
yeah.
the first.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That one's pretty bad.
Mhm.
Okay,
And if there's any other ones that we're doing crack sealing potentially on those streets, try to find
crack
some.
sealing we need to get done.
Right, but if there's any intersections when we're doing those crack sealing,
Yeah.
you might take a look at that before. End up tearing something out.
You can get hold of Brock and see what his thoughts are. You want me to call him or?
I can get hold of him tomorrow sometime. Well, not tomorrow probably. Next week.
Next week, yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
And if you can talk to him, did he get the bench?
It's up.
It got installed today.
What?
The bench, it got installed this morning.
Really?
Well, Dan superintendent report, you wanna just keep going?
I can.
I feel like we have a visitor with Lauren sitting out there. But we'll make her wait till her attorney report.
I could be a visitor.
That's right.
Oh, actually, I do have something. I could be a visitor.
Yeah?
That's not city attorney. Yes. My permit for the demolition, as you may have seen, is the giant excavator in the yard. It's apparently broken and they've been trying to fix it and they can't fix it. So do I need to extend my permit or do I need to get a new one?
Usually the contractor.
When did you do that? You just did that, didn't you?
Yeah, but he said it would be done within 4 weeks, so I
Usually
only did it for like a
contractors
month and a half.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know.
We've always get-
I just put the completion date, so I didn't know if I could amend it. I know it says on there that you have 6 months, but I put the completion date 6 weeks out.
Six
So we've
months.
always given them 6 months.
6 months, yeah.
Okay. If it's not done by then, I'm gonna have a problem.
Okay, so first off, I got a couple things for fire department.
Okay.
So this is a new application we're waiting for. There's a lot of them. Pass me on by. That's just one application.
Senior?
Huh?
Senior? And you're really senior?
Say that again?
No, it's the dad, right?
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
saying.
There's 2 of them.
I didn't know there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
It's a plumber.
Right.
Yeah.
Kid, too.
Yeah, no, I didn't know.
You say it's the same one?
Yeah, same app. You pass one of them on by.
He's a good worker.
Does anybody?
No.
No.
Think you're fine?
Yeah.
I don't know if we had to make a motion or put
Need a
more
motion
out.
to approve that firefighter? Think so.
I don't think so.
Okay, county makes a motion, so I didn't know if we had to or not.
We can.
Yeah.
I'm gonna approve the fire department applicant.
Moved by Larry,
Then I
second by
think,
Justin, all in favor.
I think I accidentally passed it around.
Yep.
There's-
It's there.
So the airbags we bought, after I didn't get the controls for it for a long time, I finally called them back. I'm gonna find out they don't come with the controls, so I gotta buy the controls. So it's like
Yep.
$1,300, I believe.
Okay.
Was it 13?
2,247.18.
So did I write in pencil somewhere 13?
Oh, 1,173.59 for the city.
So I'm just
and
letting you guys know we have to get it, so I just went ahead and ordered
Okay.
that one.
half of the,
Because they ain't gonna work without.
yeah.
So that's half of it, yeah, the county's gonna pay for the other half, just like they did the airbags, so.
You need this?
Not necessarily, I can get it from you later.
Leander.
Well, I just required them to buy it because it's, but it's under 15.
That's what you were telling me about,
So,
I think.
okay. We can talk about this if you want to. I was gonna bring it up last meeting. It's the snow route stuff. And maybe we wanna just wait till next meeting when everybody's here to talk about it, but
I was gonna bring something.
what's that?
I was gonna bring that up too.
Basically, what this says is there's 2 definitions we can declare. It's either a traffic emergency, which you can read what the traffic emergency does, but so then you can also declare a heavy snow traffic emergency. Which the fun part is, the traffic emergency means nobody can park on snow routes. You declare a heavy snow traffic emergency, nobody can drive in city limits on any city street without chains or four-wheel drive. Is how your ordinance reads. And the only other problem I really have with snow routes is where do we do with it? If we push it out and you put it on their sidewalk, then you tell them they gotta clean their sidewalk.
Do they want to drive or do they want to walk on sidewalk?
Well, that's true, but do you want an ambulance to try to get over that snowbank when they're trying to get to somebody?
I think if you're,
So, that's always been the problem before. If we have an ambulance run or something, they gotta try to get over that snowbank if it's by the curb.
Or if it's in the middle.
So or we can run it down the middle, but then either way, I think we're gonna have to haul it. Otherwise, it's gonna sit there, especially if you get a really long winter. So you're gonna be burning fields with hauling.
What are you talking about, just hauling just around the hospital?
No, snow routes, you'd have to haul all snow routes.
You have to haul it all.
If you get 2 or 3 snows on top of each other, your snow drift by the curb will be as tall as the desk.
Yeah.
Well, and you go out and scoop your sidewalk and then you just pile it
It's
all back on there and
into
you
them, yeah.
block the driveways in and
So that's always been my question with this, what way you guys want to go? Because I know last time we had roughly about where we should have been doing snow routes, but I didn't see anybody having problems, so I didn't do them. But I know Amanda got caught about it, so I figured I'd bring it up here and see what you guys thought.
and that last snow wasn't expected. We got a
Right.
lot more than what was expected, so we
Right.
weren't really prepared to.
and then
To
when,
make that
when
call.
can you activate it? Do you have to give a notice to activate it or can you just automatically activate it?
The mayor can activate it, and then it has to be put
So
in
you
paper.
you can only activate it?
Or I can if she's gone, but
It has to be put in the paper,
it's supposed to be put in the paper or advertised somehow.
Facebook,
Facebook.
city website.
And then we're supposed to, when we get done doing everything, we're supposed to lift it the same way we activated it, basically.
So how much snow are you talking about before you need to move it?
Well, I think if you're around the hospital, you're going to have to do it anyway.
Which
because
that we do
They can't
anyways.
pick it up.
Well, yeah, they do. They put it all in the middle anyway, and then we haul it because they got that new machine. But the last snow, somebody went down there in a big 3/4 ton 4-wheel drive pickup and shot snow clear to both sides of the street because I watched him do it right after they piled it up. So. You know, we got to it as quick as we could, but we had trucks that didn't want to start. It was just too cold.
When was there 2 or 3 snows in that week and a half time period?
Probably, I don't remember. But then we had snow sticking in the boxes part of the time, and we had somebody complaining about that because we're just burning diesel around back and forth with a half a load of snow on. What do you want? You know?
Yeah.
Well, they want my job, is what they want. They
I think
pretty
if
much
you're gonna have a
told me
sign that
that.
say no snow route, just automatically you're gonna think, okay, I shouldn't park here on the snow route anyway.
Yeah.
So why not just pull the crap on the sides, be done with it, around the hospitals, schools, stuff like that, then pick it up.
You want to push all snow out on snow routes, what you're saying?
Except for by the hospital and, you know, you have to work with something like the school, stuff like that, to help them out, stuff like that, but mostly just push it all out. I mean, it's an emergency. I mean, if you want the ambulance out there anyway, can't they just pull right side here? And then they call you, whoever's get out, and they might have to take a loader out there if it's that bad anyway. Open up the driveway or whatever. Chances are that if they call the ambulance, the driveway's not open anyway.
I'm just saying it's gonna be there for a long time if we don't haul it on some winters, you know, it'll be there for a long time. And then the complaint was before, we pushed it out and we had people that were mad because they had the ordinance says they have to clean their sidewalk, they go out and try to clean their sidewalk and.
But I know on some even, what is it, by the hospital, even if you put it in the center, it is pretty narrow on both sides
Right.
to drive
Right.
anyway, so.
You'd have to clear a path so that you could get.
Well, that's where you run into the problem, how do they park? Cause you've got it in your ordinance that they can't park on a snow route, so they either gotta be parking in the parking lot and not on the street. And there ain't enough room up there for that, so.
And park on the side street, right?
Yeah.
At the hospital.
Well, those are snow routes on both sides.
Well, they're gonna probably end up cleaning what you can. So you'll have to work with them, you know, maybe, I don't know, some of those things, we still use the grader
We could.
and just pull that stuff out there, even on Main Street. I think if you just pull that stuff, on that stuff early enough to the center, you get a lot of that crap out of the gutter.
So
And
the
then-
businesses.
Now, the problem is we go out and do it early and then the businesses come along and shovel
But
it
they're
right
still
back
out.
out there. Cause we've tried the early, we've tried waiting until later, it just,
Mhm.
I don't have a good answer for it. And nobody's ever gonna be happy when it snows, so.
I guess it depends on I guess we could say how early you're gonna be out there. And then businesses, you need to come out there respectfully to get enough time to clear your sidewalks before business opens anyway, so. I don't know. And we're not gonna please everybody. I guess, do the people wanna drive on the street or they wanna walk on the sidewalk?
You can get 6 of one and have a dozen of the other.
Yeah.
Because you're gonna spend a lot of time picking it up too. And that's gonna burn a lot of,
It
What's the lot of money?
doesn't matter when you want to move snow. I moved snow up and down this highway for years and years and years. And I don't care when you do it, they'll pull right up in front of you and park anyway.
yeah.
Yeah.
So there is no rhyme or reason to being able to move snow
Mhm.
easily. It just, I wish there was.
Yeah.
Well, mine's mostly snow ruts is probably, we do pretty good on Main Street. Yeah, we get some problems once in a while when we go out later and try to move it back to the middle when we get a little warmth or whatever, but I'm also I've been talking to the guys, I think we're gonna put signs up, maybe block 2 blocks at a time that says we're working there. So if they run through there and you run into, it's kinda on them a little bit.
Yeah.
So we'll do signs 2 blocks or 3 blocks at a time, and then we'll move the signs down when we get that done.
So, like, say you're coming from the highway, would you just make one pass to clear a route to come down to the hospital?
That's what we usually do, is one down each side.
And you're pushing the snow to the side?
We have. I've done it both ways since I've been here a long time. I've done it both ways.
Kind of with Justin, I mean, the street's not wide enough to.
Yeah, well, some of that's pretty narrow. Even when the hospital pulled theirs in, you couldn't, if people were backing up, you might slide and hit somebody, or you couldn't go that way anyway, so. This is the pain about it.
And then you got people that are going to drive across your piles anyway.
Yeah,
So you're saying push it out? That's what you're
to the
thinking?
curb.
I'm asking.
Oh.
I'm
Is there-
asking what makes the most sense.
Is there any places down around the hospital where you can actually just push it to?
Not really. And we pushed it up in the parking lot a time or two, but they're so full all the time now, it seems like that. We used to take it with one parking space and go try to haul it off later or something, but
So is it something you could push to Spencer on a corner?
I don't know how you push that far.
You could put them in intersections, I guess.
Yeah.
That's about it, and then pick them up later. But I think he's gonna have enough time to move all the snow out of his, put it in the center anyway by the time you're doing your
Yeah,
thing.
they
come back.
usually get it done before we get there, since they got that little machine now, but they do pile it in the center and it gets narrow, so.
What's easier to pick up, in the center or the sides?
I've never tried picking it up on the
Usually
side.
just
Yeah,
leave it
bring
on
it
the
up,
side.
leave it on the side.
You just leave it.
And take your maintainer and pile it up a little higher.
But yeah, the problem is you get a lot of people mad because they can't get out of their driveway, so
Yeah.
then they're calling down there saying, how do I get out of my driveway now? Well, if you go dig one driveway out, you gotta dig them all out, so.
Which they should be putting snow in the street anyway. But you see everybody do.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing, you're gonna push it up and they're gonna go out there, snowball and blow it right back out.
Yeah.
Well, my thoughts would be to go ahead and, even though it's short space, would be get it in the center and get it picked up and just do the best you can.
Yeah.
Yeah,
At
I
least
guess
there,
it
at
depends
least
on
there'd
the
be a
storm.
path.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it depends on the storm. I guess you'll have to use your judgment. If we're getting 12, 15 feet in one day, it might be easier to push the side than to go back and pick it up. Because and if you're gonna potentially get more snow, then you're gonna have a real mess in the center. I don't know. Like this last one, it was wet enough, you could just throw it inside, it would have melted, it'd been done. But all along the main street, side streets, they were already pushing it out anyway, so like those, you'd have to pick those up.
Right. Right, because now we have people that have tractors and they're pulling it out of their lots and out on Main Street.
Mm-hmm.
But
Which
you're
I
not
don't know
supposed to
how-
be doing that either.
I don't know how you're gonna get away from that though.
Yeah.
And you can tell people until you're blue in the face and it's still gonna happen.
Yeah, we had,
Not unless you actually start finding them.
I saw a couple of them, and one of them I got somebody to talk to that was taking it out, big driveway, putting it out in the middle of the road, and couldn't get by it. So, he didn't do it on the last time, so apparently he figured it out.
Good.
I guess using my judgment's kind of a hard thing to do because I don't know what the right thing to do is, you know.
I'd say if we don't have to park there on the side, shove it to the side. Because you can't park, you're not supposed to be parking there anyway, you shouldn't.
Well, you're only supposed to not park there until this is lifted. I mean,
Right.
And then if people need to get out of their driveway, that creates issues too.
so it's a catch-22. I mean, like you said, I've done both ways since I've been here.
You need another 1980 snow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Probably coming.
yeah. Not now, I hope. But
Well, I guess. if we
something
can,
to think about
yeah,
or
wait for the
ponder.
other council members. We can-
Because what usually happens too when you put in the middle, and if it's like middle of winter or it's cold, you're just gonna have stuff right there in the center. It's never gonna get, completely taken off, melt, ice forms on the side. But if you push to the side, our streets are really crowned. All the water's gonna flow this way, so it's just easier to have a clear street, I think. You don't have to fight the water as much. It's going that way anyway.
Oh, you're gonna block all the water off.
Exactly.
Until it cuts a path by
It
the
does,
curb,
yeah.
it's
Well,
just gonna back up.
When it gets warm enough, it'll cut it underneath there pretty good.
Yeah.
I think a whole
But
lot
usually
of
by then somebody's already complaining.
A whole
we're
lot
out
of
there
it's
with
gonna
the
be
damn
how
truck.
much snow
We're
you
doing
get.
it.
Yeah.
What's that?
A lot of it'll be how much snow you're gonna get.
Well,
Yeah.
if you get one in the
Clear snow,
wintertime,
you
it's
might
gonna
do a
stick
good
around
one.
for all winter. Well, I guess we can check on it soon with the other council members.
But I think we probably should have enacted something, the last one. It was kind of pretty thick.
Yeah.
And then people are already, like I said, they're already out there pulling stuff out from the bank, pulling all that stuff out in the middle anyway.
In the
So
middle.
you're
Yeah.
gonna go by and load that back into the bank parking lot?
No, I think they're gonna do it anyway, might as well help use them. And just get it picked up.
But if you're in a truck, you're going one way or the other.
Well, I don't
If
think we
you're
need to use
clearing-
the truck much. I think we need to start using that main area better.
You're still gonna.
You're
cut
still
it
gonna go one way or the
other.
other. You're not
Yeah.
gonna be
You
switching.
can't push it straight down the road. The only way you're gonna push it straight is to get a plow with sides on both sides of it.
But you're gonna go one way or the other.
You have to
You're either
cut,
gonna
you
go
have to
in
make
the
a
center
path
or you're gonna-
first, but either way.
Yeah, but you're gonna go one way or the other. I don't think you're gonna switch.
Why not? Just move your blade this way and move your blade this way.
When you're 2 o'clock in the morning out clearing snow routes, I don't think you're.
Well, that's why we gotta enact the snow road, because that's gonna be the part of the last one. They're probably gonna concentrate on Main Street, side streets, then come over there. If it's that bad, then yeah, you're gonna only use one path with the truck. Anyway, if it's like a get a foot of snow, you're gonna have time to move it all, so you're just gonna make a path. I mean, we could discuss how to do this the whole night.
Yeah.
Depends on the snow, depends on the. But as far as going one way, you cut one way and go the blade this way, turn around, go move the blade the other way. You got two sides. So,
If you had to pick up the snow from, say, the highway to the hospital after you blade it to the center, how long would that take, roughly? A couple hours?
Oh yeah, at least. When was the last snow? It took them, what, 2 days to do Main Street? And
Well,
some of that was trucks not starting and stuff.
I understand Main Street. That's a whole different deal.
Yeah, it's gonna be a little, not as tall there, but you're still gonna be.
That one storm in 2006, we cleared every street on Goodland to the center and picked up every street. That was a lot of work, a lot of manpower, a lot of wasted. So,
Did you get your sand or?
Still working on it. Haven't got it yet, no.
I think that's the only thing that I see the worst for me is the intersections needing a little bit more help on stopping. Other than that, let them drive on it.
I wouldn't be too concerned about what you're burning for diesel. I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do.
What else you got, Dan?
if your trucks hold up,
Okay, so KMU conference is like April 23rd through 25th. We'd get the 22nd. I was wondering if DJ and I could go to that. It's mostly for electrical type stuff.
Anybody have a problem with that? Go ahead.
Okay. So the sewer is still working on the roads up there in Industrial Park. He wants to put a culvert in where it turns and comes across to him, basically. And then, so I guess what I'm getting at, the culvert's $1,479.60 to buy an 18-inch by 40 foot. So if it doesn't cost any more than that, I'm okay without permission. But if it costs more than that, are you guys good with going ahead and doing it?
Is he putting it in?
Yeah, he'll put it in. That's part of what he did that bid for us, like $2,000 to do the roads up there. That was, I just have been trying to come up with a culvert, but we got to get and I am going to check with Tri-State Irrigation, see what that black plastic culvert stuff, see if that's cheaper than the metal culvert.
Everybody okay with that?
how big a culvert?
He was going to put 18-inch by 40 long. That's what he was thinking. It's right there where it turns, like behind Shane Worm's house, cuts across there. He'll put it in there and just take that big dip out of it. It's in there,
Out of the
out
road?
of the road.
Good with that? Okay.
Yeah.
The trash truck's probably gonna need a line, so we may have to out haul somewhere to get a line. Get a worse set of tires out in 6 months, roughly.
Might check with, I think it's Oakley. I can't remember if it's a Goodyear Firestone. But I know they have a heavy truck. I'm pretty sure it's Oakley. Somewhere in Oakley.
Like mittens?
Huh?
Like mittens?
I don't think it's Mittens.
Yeah, I've heard Oakley has one. I've heard Juanita has one.
I ran into it once and had to send somebody over there with a big rig.
But the biggest cost is gonna be getting home to get the alignment done, probably. If it wore tires out in 6 months, I don't think we want to drive it very far. So, I'll have to find out more details for sure, but just an FYI.
If I can think who that was, I'll let you know.
So we have been getting decent compliments about Roadside Park and stuff since Kevin's been doing it. Well, he's also been doing recycling. I've heard pretty good about that too.
Yeah. Yeah, so have we.
Mackenzie Lampy contacted me today, and they're now wanting a crosswalk from the daycare over here to the park, sounds like, painted in. And then maybe signs that say slow children playing or something. I told her around by you guys tonight.
You're talking about over here?
Yeah.
That's what they brought up before?
I
They
think
didn't
that
want
was
them.
brought up before, but I don't
They
know
didn't
why.
want them.
Yeah,
They didn't want the
I
crosswalk.
don't know what the deal was, but
I thought they didn't want it.
not today. They're saying they want it. Which I don't know when we get it painted. We gotta get that rock, the rest of that rock picked up. And you get somebody on the sweeper. So,
Probably you're close to the high school again,
huh?
in the high school.
Yeah, we need to get up there too. Yeah.
I don't see a problem with painting the crosswalk or putting signs up.
No, it's a busy street.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know where I'm at. So I wanted to check with you guys because it come up. Since I've been on the fire department, I've worked here. It's always been agreed that I could just go to the fire. One thing was I didn't take the fire pay from the city if I was on a city run during city hours. Otherwise, you just go without clocking out or any of that stuff. It was been brought up that when someone needed to clock out, so I want to see if that's changed or
No.
we want to.
Anybody that works or volunteers for the fire department, as far as any businesses I've dealt with, is you go.
Okay.
I mean, you don't have time to clock out. You need to go. And
Well, that was my thoughts, and that's what I told him, but I just wanted to see if that was correct or not.
That's what it was always done.
That's what has been done. I've been here almost 30 years and been on the fire department for 20 of that. And plus, they said Rob had brought it up way back when he was on the fire department. So,
Lawson?
yeah.
About a day or two ago.
McGuire will be out here April 1st to do the water tower inspection. We're down, so there'll be water running down the streets that day.
With snow or without snow?
Huh? I don't know. If it's snow, it'll be ice running down the street. And I'm gonna kind of axe a complaint right here because I know he said he's gonna go to other people. But someone complained about the trash truck driving up and down the alleys and not picking up the trash. I went there as soon as I was told that. All the trash cans were emptied. So I don't know what the deal was, but since then he's found other council people and complained to them about it. Said he's going to complain to all of them because he thinks we're just burning diesel. Because somehow he got word that we have a hydraulic issue with the truck or something.
So we're just driving up and down the
So we're
alleys.
just driving up and down the
Trash.
alleys. I don't, yeah. So that's not true. I mean, just so you guys know, if he
That
comes
doesn't
to you,
even, that doesn't even make sense.
no, I know, but well, I got figured out when I got the call, so that's why I went and drove the alley, and all the cans had been dumped on both sides of the alley. So I guess I just want to stop it here.
Yeah.
So if he does come talk to you, you don't got to ask me later why that's
You
come up.
guys been doing a good job, and I know we're shorthanded.
Other than that, I'll show you this stuff. This is for that lady up on River. She wants to buy that lot. This is what she's wanting to put up there. So the building, I think the building's fine, and I think the fences are fine, but she wanted to make sure before she put a bid in on the plate, or whatever you want to call it, an offer. But I think she's already put the offer
That
in.
thing's under contract, yeah.
Is it under contract?
I think so.
Is it? Anyway, I didn't see anything wrong with any of it, unless you guys see something you don't like. I figured I'd let you guys.
And I'm sorry, this is where?
Up on River,
It's that vacant lot up on River Street that's for
past
sale.
Western Auction, like,
Oh, past Western.
yeah,
Auction.
that way.
Okay.
So the fence she wants to put up, she wants it open, kind of like that, like the hog panel with wood posts. But she said she'll make a gate where we can still get through to take care of our utilities that are back there and stuff. So I'm just saying, if someone sees something they don't like, I want to tell her now before she gets everything rolling, because she's already got the building ordered. So I think it'll look nice up there, actually.
Yeah. So, back to the water tower, if the weather is inclement, are they gonna postpone or reschedule? Or,
He didn't tell me probably.
okay,
I mean, we can always reschedule them if we have to.
Yeah.
But they were gonna come out the week before the water conference, and I didn't think that was a good idea. Cause if we for some reason over pressure or something, there's gonna be 3 of us gone, and it probably shows face the next week when we're gone, so it'd be better to bring them in the first. Everybody will be here for most of that month until DJ and I leave, and then, but John will still be here after that, so, as far as I know. And that's all I've got, other than I won't be at the next meeting because of the KRWA. I think DJ and I both did get accepted to try to test on that water, so we'll see how that goes.
anything else for Dan?
Does John have to do something on the water?
He'll go to KRWA so he can
Get hours.
get his hours.
Hours.
You gotta have so many restart hours a year.
Okay. Okay.
So once we get the test done, then it's just a matter of going and finding hours wherever. It don't necessarily have to be there all the time. You can get them all there is the only easy thing. So if you're about to run out of your hours, and that's the place to go because you can get them all done. But there's other places throughout the year we can get them to.
Okay.
Anything else for Dan? Is there a motion to accept and file the superintendent report? Moved by Justin.
Second.
Second by Larry, all in favor? Attorney report.
Excuse me. A while ago, I had given you guys the ordinances, the recodified ordinances for your review. I didn't know where we were at with that, if people wanted to take chapters and review it, if you just want me to go ahead. I just don't know where we're at with that. And so for any other changes may or may not get made, I didn't know if we wanted to go through the codification process or...
Can we do that at the next meeting when we get more people here?
Yeah, that's fine. I just didn't know where we were, and I've missed a couple meetings, so I just wanted to make sure that it wasn't, that I hadn't missed that. I didn't misspeak, but I think I did not communicate clearly last meeting when I said that the schedule had been sent, the fine schedule had been sent to the sheriff's office. That was to let them know what fines were going to be going and what citations were now going to be going through municipal court. The council is the one who has to decide what the fines are going to be. And so I gave them a heads up so they could start to do that. Cody has some opinions on which ones he thinks should not go through municipal court. And so we're going to need to go through with the council line by line so that the council can decide what you want the fees to be. And Cody wants to make sure that he is also here for that when we do that, so that way he can offer any input that he may have, or be able to take questions from the council. So I just wanted to clear that up, that I had sent it over to them to give them a heads up that it was coming down, and they needed to be ready to go, and not, because I can't unilaterally decide the fee schedule. So just a clarification on that point.
So Cody will be here at the next meeting?
Yep. Anything else?
The dog case has not happened yet, so it got continued in February to March. So, and it may be getting continued again. It is getting continued again. I just wasn't going to say that. It's getting continued again.
Any questions for Lauren? If not, do I hear a motion to accept and file the attorney report? Moved by Justin, second by Bud. All in favor? All right. Treasury report. Jen gave me some information. Hopefully I can get it all. So we have, she brought up the holding account and the ICS account that we have at the bank. The bank has 3.02% interest, and right now on the ICS account we're getting 1.5%. And her recommendation, so in the holding account we have $1,000, and she would recommend the council motion to transfer the remaining $1,000 to the main account and to close the account at the earliest date allowed by the bank. And then we will do that with the ICS account as well, and then that will give them, once they get pledging, that will give us the opportunity, one, to get 3.02% interest instead of 1.5%. And then we could move some of that into CDs. The ICS account, we have $1,809,610.40. So once we get that
What's the
moved over,
purpose of the holding account?
I don't remember what the holding account.
So each one of our accounts could only go up to the $500,000
Okay.
combined. It was our extra account, so we would be able to move freely back and forth between. So if
not go
the main
over.
account was going over the 250, we could transfer it into the holding account, and if it was going below 100,000, we could transfer it back into the main. It all depended on where the bills were.
Yeah.
And how they landed.
But once you get the pledging done, it's a whole different game.
Then everything will be in just the one
Okay.
main account.
And then we could put some into CDs if we wanted to, which she
Correct.
thought we could possibly do that once everything's. So basically, if you guys are okay with that, we need a motion to transfer the remaining $1,000 from the holding account to the main account and to close the account at the earliest date allowed by the bank.
So move.
Moved by
Second.
Larry, second by Justin, all in favor, okay? And then we'll also need a motion to transfer the balance from the ICS, and it won't be exact because I think there'll be some interest or whatever, but anyways, to transfer the balance with interest and close at the earliest available date by the bank and transfer that into the main account.
Move.
Moved by Justin,
Second.
second by Larry, all in favor? She did also bring up the phone system is going to need to be replaced, but you guys don't have any bids at this point, so just kind of a heads up that.
What's the brand of your phones? Is it Avaya?
Yep. Evaya or whatever, isn't it?
AVAYA?
Yeah.
Yes.
So we were told by a guy in Giddelen that within a couple more years, those things are going to be totally obsolete.
That's why
That's why
that's
it's
being
getting-
brought up.
Oh.
Yeah, with the, which I think with the phone, help me on this, with
Which part?
like the actual the phone line, if you're not going to the internet-based phone system, I think, is it Vive that we're with now? Or
We are with Vive right now for our internet connection. They stated that if we were to
keep the old phone.
change the phones themselves, the system would need to go back to AT&T
So
because it's basically obsolete at this point. They have recommended going to the voice over internet phone system, which then anytime the internet goes out, we lose all phone systems.
but if the power goes out, you lose phone
And-
systems. I mean, there's plus and minuses, you know.
There is, and I mean, the voiceover, they can do faxes through, but it's then not a secured fax line because it's internet based. So I don't know how we would end up going and keeping our fax machine.
I think it's possible to use internet,
Yeah,
And
there's
still have
the
those
county
fax
has
lines.
a fax. It's a
e-fax.
e-fax type thing. Yeah,
So your actual phone system's Next Tech though, right? That's who
the phone.
our
Okay,
is.
the phone is Next Tech, but if we don't
Yeah.
upgrade to the,
Right, we'll lose
the
Next Tech
web-based, we'll
basically.
we'll have to go to
We'll have to
AT&T.
go just to AT&T.
AT&T is not taking care of the cable here
That's
anymore at
the
all.
problem. Is
I
yeah.
went voice over last year.
Mm-hmm.
Have you had any problems with it?
No, and I've got battery backup on mine. I never lose anything. Every time the city's been out of power, I've still got phones.
Well, we don't lose power that often.
Not anymore.
But when you
Internet. I mean, if you lose
With
internet, then
yeah.
you're. If you
Yeah.
lose
If you
internet,
lose
you're.
Yeah.
and Vive has gotten very dependable on that. So
Let's say Vive's got a generator
Yeah.
on their internet stuff.
I think Comcast put a line through.
Really?
And there's another one that's putting a line through. So you've got some options.
Yeah.
I guess you guys put backup generator in here if you're worried about power.
Got a cell phone.
Anyway, that's all I had, I think, for Jen. So clerk report.
So we got our silver membership from Kansas US 36, or Highway 36 Association with a thank you. The third memo for February is out there. I have not gotten the March one, obviously. Yeah, too soon for that. It was brought up regarding Justin, since he moved over to being the magistrate from being an employee, how the council would feel if he were to keep his MASA through our group. Now, we offer part-time and the council members the availability of signing up for the AirMed policy, but I'm not positive about the MASA.
It was my recommendation, if we allow Justin to keep his MASA since he's the city magistrate judge, that we open up that council as well, attorneys, that anybody that could be sign up for MASA.
Is that in
So
accordance
it's-
with the I mean, I guess I haven't seen the policy documents. Is that
It's kind of like AirMed, except MASA is air ambulance. It's that extra insurance.
right?
So it's something that we've offered to employees.
Right. I just don't. I mean, with what our contract is with them, because usually they go through a group. Is our contract with them? Does it allow for non-employees? Would that be a violation of
There.
our policy or our contract with them for them to give that to the city to offer? Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I don't know.
So Justin reached out to Larry, who is our representative. I cannot pronounce his last name. I'm not even going to try to murder that. He basically states, because all of you guys get a W-2, you are basically employees.
Okay.
So therefore, you're just part-time or whatnot. So he would just put you guys as a part-time and still allow it.
Magistrate judge is a 1099 contract. It's not a W-2.
They get paid the same as you.
From the city, you mean?
Mm-hmm.
My office gets a 1099. My office gets a 1099 NEC.
For the
Or no, a 1099 miscellaneous.
yeah, it's miscellaneous,
Yeah.
yeah. That is for the extras, additional to this part. Like you have your
You know, I know.
contract,
No, I
yeah,
know. I know.
So they
The
get
magistrate is a W-2.
Judge Keller always got a W-2. I take taxes.
Is that paid monthly or how's that MASA? Is that paid like yearly or monthly? Or?
MASA is monthly, $14, and the AirMed is a check from the individual to the city. The city then writes a check to AirMed, and that's an
I
annual.
think we were
Or
talked about
3,
MASA
5,
for the
10.
fire department. They wouldn't let us do it for some reason. But I thought it was because it's paid pre-taxed and we don't get a check every month from.
I think that might be wrong. But the council members, the attorney, and the judge all get, other than
I
the
didn't
third
see-
paycheck of
I don't have a problem with it.
If we
it's
offer,
legit.
if we let him do it, then I think it needs to be offered to everybody.
That's yours.
So, you guys have any problems with?
Basically, Justin would like permission, whether or not, Justin and myself, I guess, to,
Well,
be able to.
if it's okay, if it's legit, I don't see an issue with it.
Okay.
I don't know enough about it.
It's just the extra insurance coverage.
Yeah,
Another-
it's like how you sign up for AirMed,
Airman.
It would be the same, you could sign up for Mass,
but
which
it would
covers,
just come out of your check that you get from here once a month.
Oh,
same with Justin's, it'll just come out of
Yes.
his check. You can still be covered under the city's.
Except I don't get it.
Different Justin.
Yeah, I know, but I don't do it either, because I already have it.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, if we let that Justin, then I feel that it should be open to anybody that wants to, so. Anybody have a problem with Judge Justin?
no.
keeping that?
I don't know, not yet.
Do you want to put that in a motion?
Yeah, is that a motion?
Move. Yes, second.
Second, all in favor? Okay. Moved by Justin, seconded by Larry. Thirded by Bud. How's that?
As far as my stuff, that's all I have. I do know that out there on the financials, there is no council review for this upcoming payroll, as it was not completed by this afternoon. I have the checks there for signature, but that's about it. There was a couple of issues with checks that went to vendors that were lost in the mail. We figured that out. We voided the checks. The ball got dropped on canceling or putting a stop payment at the bank. Those checks got cashed even after we had sent a replacement check and informed them, if you get it, don't do anything with it. They still went ahead and cashed them. So it has caused an issue in our lovely system because now we have a voided check, but it's been paid. So trying to get it in line with the bank statement so we can reconcile, plus show that there's a credit on the account. We're having fun with CIC right now. There are 2 of them that it made new checks for, which it was not supposed to do, that are in tonight's bills. That was the one for American Implement, and then the other one was for Universe. Not very large amounts, but I wanted to let you guys know that those numbers, they are there. They're slightly off, I guess, due to the system.
Any questions for Diane? No?
I don't.
Do I hear a motion to accept and file the clerk report?
So move.
Moved by Larry. Second by Bud, all in favor? Council comments, Bud? Larry?
Leanne gave me pool applications. We'll be having a pool board meeting and discussing what's going to happen for the upcoming season. I do not have a date set yet. I think that's all I've got.
Justin?
I just like 15 minutes executive session for full performance from non-elected personnel.
Okay. I just have just a second. Thank you letter from the senior center. And there's something else. Oh, I was just gonna mention the strategic doing meeting tomorrow night at 6:30.
Strategic.
Yep, at 2:02, so. Strategic doing planning meeting tomorrow at 2:02 at 6:30, so. Do you need Dan here for, no, should we go ahead and go over the bills just in case somebody has a question for Dan, quick? And then we can.
Frontier Ag bill for the grader.
flat tire. They're the only one that'll fix it.
Okay.
I guess we haven't been able to get down once the tire that big anymore.
Did they come down from return?
See you, Lauren.
Thanks, Lauren.
This came to the contract, so I opened it since it said my name also. I don't do cell phone here. That was the other thing that I was gonna read. It's just on
Sometimes discounted as they pull into their little drive area. I noticed that it's got a big hump there. I saw somebody just drive it.
Scout Hood does?
Yeah.
Okay.
Somebody caught their fender on the very bottom and just took it down the street, left it off.
No, really? Huh. Okay, I'll have to look at it. Is it like out by the edge?
Yeah. Just need something to fill it up.
Anyways, I was the one
Yeah.
that opened it since it's in the mayor council, so it went to the.
I'll try to remember. I'll put my notes on. Not that I remember what my notes are at the time.
Did that guy ever talk about moving that pile? The pile of compost, I guess.
Oh, I've talked to him and he keeps saying he's gonna do it.
Aaron?
Yeah.
The senior center, yeah. Any other questions on the bills? Do we have a motion to accept ordinance number 1096?
So much.
Moved by Larry, second by Justin, all in favor?
Can you do that one, Dan, please?
I guess I should have told you guys, Gerald Bauer retired is the reason we're putting one on.
Oh.
We hear a motion to go into, do you need anything else?
No, I think I gave you the book packet.
What's that?
Except I think I gave you the one that it's stapled to it.
This one? Will we sign this one?
Yes, please.
That's
Have
okay.
a nice day.
Yeah. We can stay that way forever.
Anything about Friday? Chances up.
I heard there's chances, but
Chance
Do
of
you
win.
want this or do you want me to?
what is it?
I thought maybe it's just the stuff from the company.
No. You want me to look at it?
Do you want to look at it? I grabbed this stuff. I don't know if that was part of it too.
I'll bring it back, you guys can decide.
Okay, yeah, look at it and see what you think.
We good? Justin, make a motion.
I move we go to executive session for job performance, for non-elected personnel,
For 15 minutes.
15.
Just the council.
Yeah, just council.
Council mayor.
Part of I get to go home.
8:55. Second.
Moved by Justin, seconded by Larry. All in favor? We're out of executive session, no decisions are made.
I don't have any more.
Your motion to adjourn.
Third.
Moved by Larry, seconded by Justin, all in favor.
I got something I'd like to help take the council, nothing really.